Against the Green Bay Packers, the Cowboys defense gave up 5 straight touchdowns. Against the San Francisco 49ers in Week 5, the Cowboys defense gave up 42 points. Against the Seattle... You guys get it. Against good to great offenses, the Dallas defense got shredded. So adding talent on that side of the ball certainly isn't out of the question. So for that reason, we're going to take a look at some different cornerback prospects the Cowboys should be interested in this upcoming draft. Let's get into the video. Now, I think there are a couple of questions we need to ask ourselves before the Cowboys just go and pick a corner at number 24. Question number 1, do you re-sign Jordan Lewis, who was coming off a brutal leg injury in 2022, but I thought got better down the stretch of this year? And that leads into our second question, do the Cowboys view DaRon Bland as an outside or inside guy? With the amount of interceptions that he had this year, I would imagine they'd like to keep him as an outside corner, but we've seen crazier things with this team. Question number 3, who is the defensive coordinator in 2024? Dan Quinn is still getting head coaching interviews around the NFL, so I think it's a toss-up right now with who will be manning this Cowboys defense. And our last question before we take a look at these guys, what do you think about your cornerback depth? Right now you have Trayvon Diggs, DaRon Bland, Eric Scott Jr., Nashawn Wright, and a couple of other practice squad guys. So as we get into this video, comment down below, would you like to see the Cowboys take a corner with the 24th pick? The first guy on this list is Cooper DeJean, a name that has already gotten a ton of buzz in NFL circles. The Iowa corner with position flexibility and just sensational playmaking ability. Now, some people might look at this and think, there's no way he falls to Dallas at number 24. I mean, PFF has him ranked as their number 8th prospect in this upcoming draft. And you might be right. He might not get to the Cowboys at 24. But I challenge you to remember the chances of CeeDee Lamb falling to Dallas a few years back. Regardless if he does or doesn't, he's a very intriguing player to talk about and imagine adding to this secondary. Cooper DeJean is an elite athlete with a very unique skill set. I think his position flexibility is what separates him from a number of other corners in this class. DeJean can play corner or safety, and he has the ability as both a kick and punt returner. I'm not talking like you put him back there and he returns punts. I'm talking like he scores touchdowns when he returns punts. But for now, let's look at what he'd bring to this Dallas defense. One thing the Cowboys have relied on in recent years has been takeaways. Whether that be Trayvon Diggs in 2021 with his 11 interceptions, or DaRon Bland in 2023 where he had 9. Well, Cooper DeJean could add to that ball-hawking secondary. In his college career, he had 7 total interceptions, 3 of those going for a pick 6. He had 5 in 2022 and another 2 in 2023. 7 interceptions is an intriguing number all by itself. But when you look at the film and how he plays the ball in the air, you're even more intrigued by the player. On a number of plays, he looks like the wide receiver. Watch this play where the wide receiver poorly judges a throw to the back corner of the end zone, and it looks like DeJean is the wide receiver with the toe tap in the corner. And having a guy that plays the position with wide receiver level hands and wide receiver level ball skills, it's a super unique skill set to have. And you don't see a lot of college corners have those two things. But I think this next part of his game is where he really separates himself. On this channel about a year ago, we talked about the Cowboys' lack of physicality in the secondary. Whether that be Trayvon Diggs struggling to hold up in the run game or DaRon Bland struggling to wrap guys up. With DeJean, you'll be getting a great perimeter run defender. He is one of the best tackling corners you'll see in college or the NFL. With the Cowboys, we've seen teams attack the edges in the run game or short passing game, mainly because of the Dallas DB's inability to shed a block and make a solid tackle. He is not scared to come up and make an impressive stop. He does it over and over and over again on film. And there's actually another guy on this list that we'll talk about that I really like as a run defender as well. Something we'll talk about a ton this draft season is position flexibility. Mike McCarthy absolutely loves that word. They've talked about it a ton on the offensive line. But the Cowboys love having guys with the ability to move around and play at different positions. He is both a top-rated corner and safety in this draft. So, what do you think about the player? Let me know down below in the comments. Now, let's get to our second guy, Kamari Lasser, cornerback, Georgia. Standing at just 6 foot 180 pounds, Lasseter is a surprisingly physical corner. Despite the smaller frame, he is not afraid to come up and make a tackle on the ball carrier. I mean, look at this play against Tennessee on their running back. This is everything that you need to know about the tenacity of the player. The guy will put his body on the line to make a tackle. And one of the first things that you notice about him, whether you're a Georgia fan and you watched him in college, or you just casually watched college football, he wants to tackle. He wants to make the wide receiver pay for catching the ball. For Lasseter, the size is what's going to make him fall in this draft. He's not an overly athletic guy. He is a bit on the smaller side. You could probably put some weight and muscle mass on that frame, but I think he's athletic enough. I think his instincts and football IQ make up for it. He's not the most perfect cornerback prospect in this draft, but I guarantee you, if you draft a guy like this, I think you're getting a football player. You don't have to worry about him giving it everything he's got on the field. That is there. In 2023, he allowed just a 48.7 passer rating. Just 38.5% of the passes thrown his way were completed. This guy gave up 136 yards the entire season. Putting him under the wing of people like Trayvon Diggs and DaRon Bland, I think you would have a hell of a corner. Now let's continue to our last guy, Quintin Mitchell. The first thing you notice with this player is the frame. He is built to play cornerback. He has the prototypical size, the same exact size as Trayvon Diggs and DaRon Bland. 6'1", 195 pounds. The first thing I noticed on film was the fast twitch player. He's very quick to react on hitches and outs and can close the distance on receivers in a hurry. One of the more beautiful parts of his game is his technique with his hands. He will attack the wide receiver's hands to get a ball loose. He knows how to swipe the ball. And it was a big reason why he ranked number 3 in the country in forced incompletions in 2023. So we know the guy is built to play cornerback. We know he's a good pass defender, and he didn't play at a big school. So what was his college production like? 6 total interceptions in his career with a passer rating of 51.1 when targeted in 2023. Quintin Mitchell was PFF's highest graded defender in the country. Yes, defender. He wasn't just the highest graded corner, the highest graded defender. And I know there's a lot of debate about what PFF grades mean, but the dude's got to be doing something right to be number 1 out of 857. It's not the football gospel, but still impressive. My question about Mitchell is his lack of playing a ton of press coverage. So we don't really know what that will look like at the next level because Toledo just didn't do it. The question on him is, can he hang with the speed of NFL wide receivers? Something that we'll get to find out at the Senior Bowl very soon. I hate that Toledo never played press coverage because a lot of the time he's just giving a ton of cushion on these routes. And it's something that we've killed DaRon Bland for in the past. So I'm going to be very interested in paying attention to this guy in the Senior Bowl. And if he balls out, expect me to make a video. So that concludes today's video. If you aren't interested in any of these guys or the cornerback position in general, check out my last video where we look at the top offensive linemen the Cowboys could potentially draft at number 24. Click right here. I'll see you guys over there. I love you all. Bye.